Welcome back, guys. I'm here with my co-founder, Rebby, for Arsenal Marketing and Sales Collective. For those of you that haven't seen this kind of venture that we started back in January, this episode is to introduce you to us as just people, and then what we're trying to do for the industry. And if you're a creator, or maybe you're in marketing, or you're interested in what it's like, you want to peek behind the curtain of what it is to kind of be in the industry, this episode is definitely for you. I come from more of the marketing creator background. Rebby's more of the sales. So yeah, tell them about your background.
Yeah, so I started in the industry over 10 years ago, but I started working with Mantis about 8, and I was doing sales. So dealer to dealer, I would go into gun stores and talk to them about the product, educate them a little bit, give them some sales tips and advice. And then from there, it just built into this massive network of people that I know and love, and
Yeah,
it's been great.
absolutely. The people, like, I think that doesn't get talked about enough. And it's something that Rebby and I really bonded on. Like, we really love the people aspect of this industry. We really appreciate that you can make some really amazing connections. This is an example. I met Rebby. We haven't talked about this in a long time. I met
Yeah.
her at randomly. We were both working for brands at the time.
Yep.
You were working with Mantis. I was with a brand that actually no longer exists, but
Yeah.
not because of me. Anyway, we met at the USCCA, their last like actual national conference that I know of in Wisconsin. And I think I came over. I was wearing like these terrible leather pants. Do you
Oh,
remember
yep.
that?
Mm-hmm.
God, so awful. They're in the closet right now.
Yeah.
I get them out every now and then for like Halloween, for like the
Ah.
Matrix.
Instead of
A trade show.
conference.
Listen, it was my first, okay? I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Speaking of, we've really found this like common ground of wanting to help people succeed in this industry. And, it's interesting. I remember, I don't know how much you want to share about this, but like I remember when we first talked about Arsenal, we were dreaming just like so big. We had this like big general idea about what we wanted to do.
Oh, yeah.
We had like we like called them pillars. We had like 4 pillars because it was like 2 pillars with 2 underneath each or
Yep.
something. And it's really niched down. Like we finally know kind of what our purpose is within all of that. So we felt like now's the perfect time to kind of tell you all about that. I think Craig Douglas says it best. She's heard me say this 1,000 times. To
Yes.
call this an industry is to say we have standards and we have very few. So we want to be kind of this force that brings on common ground and standards for both creators and brands to uphold and create more of a just long-lasting, meaningful relationships. That's kind of how I see Arsenal. Would you add anything to that?
We don't want it to be a one-time thing with any of these partnerships and relationships. We want to really highlight how people can work together and how all of us can win.
Yeah, absolutely. I really love that. And I think our first conversation came from we were like sitting in my living room. You came and helped me on a project, and I was like, dude, being a creator sometimes is so hard. Like, not only do you have to compete with everyone else, but you have to establish who your audience is when like no one tells you how to do that. You have to then create content to appease that audience. You then have to try to find a way to make this make sense for your time, because creating content takes time. And like Rebby's kind of started seeing a little bit behind the curtain. She's come and like
Oh, yeah.
we do content for Arsenal, so she's starting to see how much like time and work goes into that. Not that you didn't appreciate it before, but it's really hard to understand unless you're in it. So converting that amount of effort and production time into like a dollar amount for a brand, who freaking knows? There's like countless calculators out there based on your engagement and your following, but there's things like exclusivity, there's things like, various types of deliverables, and then you have to define a rate for all of that, and then you have to negotiate. You have to know how to talk and communicate. And vet brands, because you don't want a flash in the pan connection.
Yep.
You want a connection that's going to last your lifetime as a creator. And so Rebby and I have really come together with our 2 like very individual, but also very similar experiences to do that. So today we're going to talk about what it is to be a successful creator, and also the side of sales that is selling without sounding like a salesperson.
Exactly.
Exactly. Let's start with that. I'm really curious.
Okay.
Yes, I know we filmed a bit of content about this. If you guys aren't following us on social, check us out. We are the arsenal.collective. It should populate for you if you do that. And we share creator tips, we share sales tips, we share kind of what we're up to because we have some really, really big things dropping soon. It is like so hard not to talk about it. But yeah, what's your secret sauce? You've been in this industry for over 10 years. How do you sell without sounding salesy and losing your audience?
So to me, the secret is asking all the right questions to the person you're talking to. Because if you're not listening to what problems they have, then you can't help provide solutions to them.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds really freaking simple, almost like cliche, but would you argue you've seen this work time and time again over those 10 plus years?
Oh yeah, if you know me, you know that in group settings, I tend to like have one or two questions and that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't talk as much.
I got it covered.
Yes. In all our meetings, she's got the explanations down, she's got all of this, and then I ask the pointed questions to make sure we understand exactly what a brand or a creator needs.
Yeah.
So
yes,
it works really well.
It does work really well. Yes, I appreciate that. And just kind of like a little bit of founder appreciation. Before Rebby and I even we have an operating agreement. I think all successful relationships in this industry, because there's so much mixture, there's like friendships and work. Like I would absolutely, we are absolutely friends. We are absolutely co-founders. And, we talk about life, but at the end of the day, we have deliverables to uphold. We have expectations to meet. So we have an operating agreement, if anything, to protect each other from ourselves and vice versa. You know what I mean? I work with Lena. We have a contract. There is just like a way that you do this to protect, all parties involved. And then again, no one really talks about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the standard just isn't there. And so, the idea is we stumbled in the dark so that other people don't really have to. But before we signed that agreement, which basically just outlines our parts in Arsenal, and we read Dare to Lead by Brene Brown, and it was just a book on vulnerability and courage in the workplace. And it's something I really like about our story. I've told a few people about that because I think I see this just succeeding and just never having an end because of our ability to work together. Despite our little differences of you do to more pointed questions and stuff, and I love to ramble. I love to tell backstories. I love to do all of that, but it's really fun. It's good. Yeah. So how would you take sales and apply it to the creator life? How could a creator successfully sell, and avoid sounding like they're just reading off of a website feature list for say a product that they use?
So if they're approaching a brand, I like it when they actually ask questions about what the brand is looking for, whether it be educational content, hype content, what does the brand need essentially? And then once you have that information, you take it and you go through your list in your head of what you're able to provide, how you can provide it, and you wrap them up into a story with you. I really like educating people about the competitive shooting industry. So your product would line up with this story for them, and then they feel like they're a part of it.
Yeah, I love that. So you kind of connected the dots of approaching a brand, making sure you align on a product, getting an idea of what the brand needs as far as do they need hype content? Do they need kind of more talking heads and user accounts? And then making that match to your audience by explaining how a solution, this product offers a solution to a problem.
Yes, exactly.
And
it's not necessarily focused on your followers or the counts of your engagement and all of that. To start, it starts with the story of their product and how it fits with your story.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, even as I've been a creator for a while now, I'm starting to see the power in that type of simplicity. There's ways to there's a spectrum, right, of organic to inorganic content. We don't have to go into that too much today, but I completely agree with you.
This episode of She Shield is brought to you by Right to Bear. You've probably heard me say that self-defense is more than simply carrying a firearm. It's awareness, avoidance, and preparation for anything that is to come your way. And that's why I'm partnering with Right to Bear. They stand by defenders like you and me. You'll receive benefits like expert witness support, psychological care, gun replacement, and even protection for other lawful self-defense tools like pepper spray, knives, and even your hands and feet if you have to use them in a struggle. What sets Right to Bear apart is that they are dedicated to education and immediate legal response. In case you do ever have to protect yourself, you have access to a 24/7 attorney-answered emergency hotline so that you are never alone. What I love most, though, has to be the personal connection that Right to Bear will have with you as a member. For example, Frank, the president of Right to Bear, will give you a personal phone call when he hears about a claim being filed. That level of care in the industry is extremely rare. If you carry, train, and believe in thinking ahead to protect yourself and your family, consider getting a membership with Right to Bear. If you use my code FIT4FIA10, you will get 10% off your membership, and the link to access this and to learn more is located in the show notes of this episode, which are the notes below the title. Protecting yourself and your family should not leave you defenseless afterwards. Stay safe and stay vigilant with Right to Bear.
For someone that's just starting out with their creator journey, how would you give them advice into like getting started?
Yeah, absolutely. So this also applies to people that have already started their journey and are continuing to develop it. It starts with determining your audience. Who are you trying to speak to? Because you want to attract those people, right? So you need to develop content that attracts them, and then you'll kind of very organically build up that type of audience. For example, I speak a lot to the beginner concealed carrier, and as a result, I post a lot of kind of just foundational concealed carry and self-defense content. And so, part of Arsenal, to give you a little bit more of a peek behind the scenes of what we do, part of what we do is we help creators get their footing in what they're trying to accomplish in the industry.
Mhm.
And it also helps us develop an understanding of what their needs are and what brands match up best with them so that we can start, negotiations and getting them
Yes.
brand deals. A lot of these people we talk to have full-time jobs they're creating on the side and they want to turn this into a career, but trading for a gun or a holster does not pay rent. So we're trying to help people see their value and turn that into a brand deal that could be a long-term quality relationship, among some other cool things that are coming. I don't know if you want to take that away.
Yeah, we are developing a platform that is for creators and brands alike that helps connect you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. That was like the big picture kind of idea that we came up with.
Yes.
Because we keep shooting for the stars each time we meet.
Yes,
it just gets
that's
bigger and bigger.
Probably one of the biggest things Rebby and I align on is that like we don't see a goal that's unattainable.
Yeah.
It's all about like the work you put in and actionable steps towards it. I've never met anyone like me in that sense. And once we met and we talked about it, we were like, we should freaking make this happen.
Yes.
And we honestly have just been riding on that momentum since. That's the most we'll talk about the software today. We want to tell you guys so much more about it. That's the importance of following us on social, but we couldn't have really found, what tools were necessary on that software without a good kind of investment in time, understanding what creators and brands need. Because we have daily conversations with creators and brands, and we have created a list of like what would actually solve their problem. Speaking of, Jesus Christ, that was so full circle. I didn't even expect that. That's awesome. Linked below this episode in the show notes, I'll have our website. You can kind of go and poke around. We have our creators actually listed on there. We have some really impressive folks we're working with who we just adore. And then we have kind of a deeper explanation of what we do and what we offer. If you sign up for our newsletter, you do get our brand kind of creator guide, how to create a brand for yourself. I think that's something, I wish I had in the beginning. It only took me, 3 years to get this down. Along with a lot of other tips, I recently scaled like 110,000 followers on my social media, and I share how I did that on our blog. So you can keep in touch with us in all of those ways. I would say social media is the primary way to make sure you're in the know. And I know this was a quick episode. We're going to come back with more Arsenal episodes. I just wanted to make sure to get this brand out there because it has truly become just a pride and joy for me. So, Rebby, what would you like to leave the listeners with?
As a creator, I think it is vital that when you are approaching brands, you make sure to ask all the questions about what they need, what they value, so that you can actually help the longevity of the relationship with them.
I love that. Yeah, come with questions. Don't just
Yes.
come with like, I'm this person with followers and you should give me product and pay me. Because they hear that all day,
lot.
every day. Yeah. Awesome, guys. Okay, stay tuned. In the meantime, stay safe and stay vigilant.